Hello again. I just finished watching a couple of Odo's videos, and Odo touched upon some issues of Trials as well as some other things. And I kind of wanted to touch base on that because Trials did give us some endgame content for those who were reached the end, but they never divided it enough. People who are getting some of the trial quests are nowhere close to being able to actually do trials. That causes some issues. Just they believe that they have to get the trials done. They have to get this quest done because they have it. And due to that, they're trying to push through the trials when they're not ready. Not a big deal. I mean, eventually they'll figure out they're not ready and figure out what they need to move forward. But everything in trials is based on glass cannon DPS build. There's nothing we can really do because you want to kill it as quick as possible. So everything's about DPS. One thing I think that Trials would really benefit from is an endurance mode, a gauntlet mode. Load up 10 behemoths one at a time, start them off level 6, move to level 8, level 10, level 12, and so on. Or just continually drop in random behemoths every time you beat one until you can no longer do it. Make a trial board based on how long you survived, how many behemoths you conquered, things like that. I think that would allow for use of some of the other builds in the game. Survivability builds, Fortress, Guardian, things like that. Rather than these 50-second runs that players are doing with massive DPS. And it just really makes it not an enjoyable time. I think we could really benefit from some sort of gauntlet mode or endurance mode. And I hope that the devs will take a look at doing something like that and add it to the trials. You don't need to replace the trials. Just give us another mode. Give us another way of doing things. Something that's not geared towards strict damage all the time. Another issue we have, and you can see from the top right of my screen, is currency. 941,000, almost 942,000 rams, and nowhere to spend them. One of the things that Odo brought up regarding the trials was how quickly you go through resources. We could solve both of these problems really quickly. Open up a shop that sells the different minerals and herbs that we use. Make them cost 20 rams per potion that they're used in. So something like Wrathwort would cost 140 a piece, whereas something else that doesn't get used as much wouldn't cost as much. Or just make them straight cost along the board. But you figure we get about 300 rams for every time through. I figure if you can buy 2 Wrathwort for every run through a behemoth that you do, that would allow us to be able to buy enough of it to make the potions that we need. We also have a lot of different currencies in this game, from the different elemental stones to the dull, the shining, the peerless arc stones. We have rams, we have platinum, we have ace chips, we have aether dust, we have marks, both silver and gilded. We just have a lot of currencies in this game, and they need to be cut down. Take the middleman, for example. I have 2,000 aether dust. I can't get any more. I have more cells than I know what to do with, because as you go through, I mean, the top isn't so bad, but as you scroll down to the bottom, you'll notice that some of these are in the 20s, 30s, 40s. There's a lot of them. And these are level 2s. And the level 1s are ridiculous. And I can't destroy them because they're not worth anything. You can only have 2,000 aether dust. And even if I could, only once every 7 days can I buy the 3 that are up here. I buy them every week just because then I can get at least level 2s, maybe a level 3, and get rid of some of my level 1s that I happen to get every time I hunt. And that's not counting my current core problem. Total 105 cores. I've opened a bunch of these just because I've been at 100 for a while. I had about 150. I opened a bunch of them, but you don't get anything except for more cells, so I stopped. I'm hoping that they'll start putting resources in the cores. That would help us too. That would help balance things out. Really, I think they should do away with the Aether Dust and make this breakdown so that when you break down cores, when you break down the cells, that you would get 1 ace chip, 2 ace chips, or 3 ace chips. In doing that, we could speed through making other things. It'll also be nice to have some cells that can only be made by your random chance. Like, I put an acidic cell with a berserker cell, or with a, some other type of cell, and get a random chance of getting something that's not in our normal list, that's not in our normal drops. This would encourage people to constantly make, spend the cells that they have to try to get something better, something different. Yes, it'd be kind of a crapshoot, but if they give us ace chips for breaking down cells, then it wouldn't be that bad because we could speed through it. It's an option. Oh, I was just going to load up a quick resource run while I continue to talk. Normally, I would do this on a lesser Drask. I forgot what I was saying originally. Let's see, we went over trials, we went over currencies, we went over the current cell issues. Endgame content. There's no debating at all that we're in need of more behemoths, more islands, things like that. But we also need something as a community. And we've discussed this quite a bit in the guild. But having a worldwide event, a large behemoth, something that towers over us, something that is amazing. And basically, let's say we load up a Heroic Plus. We're taking down a Heroic Plus Quill Shot. We're going to him, and just before we get to him, a larger creature comes out and basically drags him under the ground and shows up in his place. And then we're forced to fight that creature as a random chance, huge amounts of life force, and where we can't kill it. Basically, it keeps a tally of everyone who's fought it, and at the end of it, it disperses prizes based on who did the most. But a community event, make it so it would survive being attacked by everybody in the game for at least a week. I think that would be amazing. There's a lot of half implementation in this game where they had a good idea, like factions. Factions could have been a great idea, but what happened to it? I heard about it at the beginning. It was kind of a convoluted, here equip this sigil, here dye your hair. And then we got no leaderboard to tell us who was winning. There was no representation of it going on in Ramsgate. And then we got the new update, and they didn't even mention it. Apparently Pink won because we got the free lantern. But nobody said anything at all. I mean, faction could have been really cool, but they dropped the ball. There was no communication. I didn't even see anything on the website. And keep in mind that a lot of these players aren't going to the website. They're no longer catering to just the computer community. You can't expect that everybody's going to the website. We're loading up the game on a console. The website is hindsight. We barely even look there unless somebody mentions, hey, have you checked out the website? You need the message of the day, um, changing things inside town with different graphics or skins. You know, make the whole town pink and bright green, you know, in various parts. Show us who's winning somehow. Communicate. Otherwise, we don't know. And then factions just sort of went away. I mean, I'm still wearing pink hair because they never told us whether or not we're still doing factions at the moment. And I figured as long as the current hunt pass is in play, then we are. But I guess not. I'm just kind of disappointed altogether with that implementation. I would like to see more. I would definitely like to see them do something with faction again, with a lot more communication and a lot more benefit to the players, for the winning teams or the participating teams. At this point, they really need to pay attention to who their audience is. Not just in keeping their old players, but in making sure there's benefits for the new players. I really enjoy Dauntless. I know I kind of crushed everything that they've been doing lately. But I wouldn't bother to critique it if I didn't think that it had potential in being a really great game. They've got a ways to go, and hopefully some of the new things coming out, the Aether Strikers, the new bounty system I'm looking forward to, hopefully that will breathe some life back into the game. A lot of us are at the end, and we're struggling to hang in there for new content, and we need it soon. If there's anything I touched upon that you want to discuss more, please leave me a comment. I appreciate you all watching. Hope you have yourself a great day.